everyone. Okay, I wasn't expecting you to be laughing. Hello, everyone.
The same thing. I was laughing at me. But I was laughing at you, laughing at me, laughing at me. Yeah, that's
well,
right.
all I know is that now we're both laughing.
Now we're both laughing, and we're full of joy and joy
gratitude.
and pardon. The only word I could get was avarice.
Oh,
I know. You
wow.
How can you be full of joy and avarice at the same time? That's like being full of love.
I don't know that I'm entirely sure what avarice is.
You know what? Me either. I think it has to do with being adverse to something.
Oh, okay. That would make sense. That makes sense.
We have people here already, isn't it lovely?
It is. Well, let me introduce us.
Okay. Yes.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's Oracle Chats. I'm Erin Lee of heavenlymessenger.com. And with me, as always, is my beautiful friend, Miss Bobbi Rowntree, born medium. And you're right, we've got people joining us right away. Leslie is saying hello to everyone, and Kareen is joining us from New York. Welcome, ladies. Thank you so much for popping on with us today. So, and also Jerry. Hi, Jerry, and Verna. Hello. Thank you for joining us.
What must it be like to live in New York City? You must feel like you're in the center of everything all the time.
So I'm not 100% sure if Kareen is in New York City, but she's in New York State. So maybe you want to help us with that. So
yeah, help us out. Because I would love to know what it's like. There are certain cities in the United States I'd really like to just see. Like someone just spot me into Times Square and I can go, wow.
Okay. And then just pop you right back out again?
Pop you right back out. So I don't have to figure out my way out of Times Square because my little Vancouver Island brain will go, no, it's so
Yep. And Jerry's saying that, we're having a heat wave today, over 2 feet of snow with sunshine, and it's -1 degree Celsius. So yeah, we're in the same boat here too. Lots of snow the last couple of days, which is unusual for us here on Vancouver Island. We don't normally get a lot of snow, and I suppose actually if we do get snow, sometimes it happens in December.
Yes.
I remember.
It's kind of funny because on November 30th, I recalled the first baby that came into my immediate family. My sister had a child, like that first baby. Everyone's like, oh my God, the second coming of. I remember when I was on the payphone, I just came out of Sergeant O'Flaherty's to quickly go to the payphone to find out because he didn't have phones back then in the old
course. Yeah.
And it started to snow when I found out that she had given birth. And from that day on, like every year on December 1st, it would snow. And it snowed on December 1st this year. Well, on November 28th. 29th.
Okay. So
as well.
So it sounds to me like we are blaming your eldest niece or nephew from the 2 feet of snow that we have.
That's exactly what my point was.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just want to know, does your niece or nephew have a snow removal business? Because that would be awesome.
Wouldn't it? No, I have no idea. I think they're a personal trainer, actually.
So that you can get out and do your own shoveling.
Yes, that's smart. She teaches people so that they don't have heart attacks when they get snow on their driveway.
When they're shoveling their snow.
Well done.
Yep.
So what are we talking about today, my friend Erin?
Well, we were going to start with talking about self-care today.
Self-care.
And when I was thinking about what we were going to talk about, because we decided last week kind of on the fly that because the month of December tends to be a time where things are really busy, really intense, we put our own needs aside, particularly as women, to support other people. Let's talk about self-care. And for me, self-care, when I think about it, has always meant like baths and massages and maybe some Netflix and reading a book and downtime. But over the last couple of days, it's really occurred to me that we need to focus on the other aspects of self-care too. So that I know So that was my intention coming in today, but I think that we're going to go somewhere else. So I want to put it up to you, Miss Bobbi.
Okay.
Where do you want to go about with self-care today?
I like that idea with self-care.
Okay.
And actually, I would put a little caveat on it because part of what we were going to talk about was actually Christmas celebration and Yule and solstice and how it's a whole month of it.
Yes. Oh, Bobbi, I think you're a little bit frozen. But that is such a lovely image of you being frozen. Okay. So we're just going to, I'm going to keep talking while we wait for Bobbi to come back. Oh, hold on a second. We've got our first spammer and we got rid of them. Okay, so I'm just gonna hop in and we'll talk about self-care. So self-care can be those things, can be the things that we do to slow down, to recharge, to rest. So things like watching movies or taking a down day or having naps, bubble bath and massage, all of those things can be really wonderful, and important parts of self-care. Let me just get rid of this here so that you can see me. Here we go. Can be really important parts of self-care.
What the heck?
I don't know, but I've been fumbling through self-care, trying to navigate all the technical stuff. So I'm glad you're back.
What the heck did I say that pissed off the gods so much? They were like, shut up, Bobbi. Shut up. Like, what the heck was that? Yeah, okay. So what was I saying?
Well, you were talking.
Shut right down.
Well, I think that we need to go back to what you were talking about. We're going to put self-care on hold, and we were talking about yes, and celebrations for the entire month.
Yes, and celebrations for the entire month, and how lucky I am, actually, because my husband got me this, so you can't really see. You know, Advent calendars. He got me a Yule Advent calendar, so every day I get a present. Every day I get a present. Oh, it's so awesome. One of the, here, I'll show you two of my presents.
What was today's? Have you opened today's?
I haven't opened today's. It's up there. I was going to bring it down, but when we started and then there, and it's still there. I'm pretty darn sure it's incense.
Yeah.
Was this? Oh, this was yesterday's. Like it's almost 5 candles with this snazzy little scroll affirmation in it.
Love it.
See, I'm going to be putting all of this actually on my page with this young lady's. I don't know how much he spent. He spent too much, but there are a lot of big Advent calendars out there right now that are all very, very well, like the one I got him, which was little plastic Star Wars characters. Every day he gets a new plastic Star Wars character.
That's awesome.
I know, but it is awesome. But this, this was yesterday's. No, day before yesterday's. Asmonite, and I've been wanting to get an Asmonite something or blah 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 blah. Yeah, I highly recommend this for this time of year. And in speaking of that, this time of year, Yule solstice, what we're supposed to be doing is exactly what you were doing. Not what you were doing this week. We're supposed to be having tubs, reading, crawling under blankets, spending time with people.
Slowing down.
That might be you. Slowing down. We're going to sleep. We're getting ready for the big night.
Yep. Yeah. And a hibernation.
Yeah. And that's the whole, I'm sorry, that's the whole idea behind the nativity scene. The coming of the sun. S-U-N. And that's what we're doing in solstice. So, to my mind, actually, what we do, this just came to me yesterday. I think that we have such a massive insurgence of suicides in November and February because people are going against what naturally they need to be doing. And what you need to be naturally doing is slowing down, relaxing, hibernating, rather than gearing up for the most stressful holiday on the planet.
Absolutely.
And all we do is stress about how the competition of Christmas.
Well, and the consumerism that has come up
Yes.
with the holiday season too. I mean, I was talking with Irene Bilton, who is a reader out in Port Alberni, and she had posted this about Black Friday. And Black Friday wasn't a thing in Canada until, I don't know, the last, what, 5, 6, 7 years. It used to be that our focus was after Christmas on Boxing Day, and that would be when the sales would come on, and that was kind of it.
Yep.
Now I'm getting Black Friday stuff starting in October with our Thanksgiving, with companies that are starting to put it out. So it's something that is literally in our faces for months in the preparation and the expectation of what you're going to buy, what you're going to spend, how you're going to celebrate the people around you by showing them a monetary gift or exchange.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with buying stuff. It makes the world go around, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But that is not the focus that we need to be focused. That didn't make sense. It's not the focus that we need to be focusing on.
It's perhaps not what we're needing to best be focusing on. And I see Sarah's popped in here, and she's saying that they put out Christmas stuff for sale in July now. And that's true. I've seen that in stores. It's just crazy. 6 months in advance, we're thinking about this great big huge holiday season, and it's marketing.
Oh yeah, absolutely marketing. And Diana's saying she's not even feeling into Christmas this year.
Yeah.
I always loved Christmas. I actually put up all my trees this week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yep.
Maybe is it 6? No problem. I love decorating though. I love decorating Christmas trees. If someone would give me a full-time job of decorating Christmas trees, I'd still want to talk to the dead, but I'd be really happy. Anywho, I find that once you let it go, like, wow, I know. But it's the pomp and circumstance of it that I love. I love the glitter. I love the sparkle of Christmas. I love sparkles. And I could stand in the Christmas decoration aisle for hours and hours and hours because it makes me so happy.
And get covered in glitter.
I love glitter, even though it's so bad for the environment. I wish to God it wasn't, but it is. So that is why I do it. And but I don't. Do you do a tree?
I don't in my space. I literally, I don't have room. I don't have room to store decorations. I don't have room to put them out. And it used to be something that we really focused on in my family home. But again, when my parents moved to where we are, there just isn't a lot of room. When my brother comes to visit, we usually do a tree because that's really important to him. He's really into Christmas and celebrating and doing all of that. For me, it's always just been about spending time with family. And I mean, for me, family is my parents and my siblings, because we moved away from the rest of our extended family. And and now everybody's really far away. So it's really about time with people.
Yeah, and I think that's what it should be about. And I like the tree addition to it because to me is homage to nature. That's what I'm seeing this more and more and more as, that if I can commemorate what is green and beautiful when there is no green and beautiful, then I invite green and beautiful into my life.
Absolutely. That's beautiful.
That's my hope.
Yeah.
Yes, Amanda's with us. She has not been on for a little while. Hello, Amanda.
Welcome. It's great to see you.
Yes, it's wonderful to see you. Okie dokie. Now, do you actually have December rituals that you do because this is that type of month? Do you have certain things that you save for December?
Pardon me, certain things that I say?
Save, like that you do.
Oh, save. You know, I actually go back to what my work life was for so long. December, when I was making soap, bath, and beauty products, and I was going out and doing the markets, literally it was full on. From the month of November, I would start doing markets. I'd have them right up until Christmas. And I got so sick of Christmas carols and everything because it felt really artificial, and it was completely taken away from everything that was restful, because it was busy, it was long hours, it was draining. And so now when it comes to December, I am really focusing on slowing down and having that time. But I find that I don't do that. I don't make the time and space for that the way that I should. And I think probably not having kids around also really contributes to that too, because my focus really is my work. So yeah, I see this actually as being more of an area where I need to focus on the things that are important to me and to make time for that. Like I've got a stack of books that I picked up in, I think it was August. I've read 2 of them. And when I was younger, I had one of the Outlander series, the Diana Gabaldon, and we're talking like a 2,000-page book. I read it in 24 hours. Like I was just such an avid reader. I loved reading. And so, but the last several years, there hasn't been time. So I've got this stack of books that I am just really waiting to dive into, because it's such a wonderful way for me to become involved in another world, in another place, and to do something that I love.
Yes. Reading. I love reading. I started reading more after when COVID happened.
Mm-hmm.
Good. I didn't have to drive anyone anywhere for a little while.
Right.
Yeah, I totally get it. My in the last, I guess, 20 years, my entire focus of Christmas is giving my children the Christmases I never had. I break my back, like literally break my back, giving my children the Christmases that I never had. And well, now I don't have to. Now they're grown adults. Now I can focus on Christmas in a totally different way. And I love that. I actually love to be able to focus on something that, well, okay. So Christmas Eve, midnight, that's when I could stop.
Right.
That's when I knew I can't go buy any more stuff for them. I can't, I've wrapped and midnight, I'm lucky if I got all the, don't tell my kids, but I used to fill their stockings.
You used to fill their stockings?
Shh, don't tell them.
Oh, yeah. No. I wouldn't say a word.
I worked for Santa by proxy. So
right?
The height of an elf. So
I remember when I was 5, recognizing my mom's writing on the tags, and that she'd signed it from Santa.
Yeah. That's why you write it with your right hand, Chris.
Well, she's right-handed, so she'd have to write it with her left. But yeah.
I do love Santa. As far as my kids knew, Santa had the worst penman. He was drunk all the time.
It's the only way he got things done. Hold on a sec. I think that we've had a couple of comments come in. I just want to make sure that we check in with everybody. So yeah, Christmas is, Amanda saying Christmas is tough for me. Was given a tough decision on Christmas Eve of 2008. You know what?
I think of Christmas.
Pardon?
The commemoration of certain things happening in and around Christmas.
Well, and I think that's actually something that's really important to talk about is holidays. Any holiday can be really big and significant for a lot of different reasons. It can be, when we lose someone or when things happen around those holidays, then they become kind of imprinted on, and they change and they evolve. And so, I mean, we're talking about, or I've been talking about things being challenging with, getting ready for Christmas and the commercialization of Christmas, but then it can also be compounded by all of these other personal things too. Holidays can be incredibly alienating.
Totally alienating. And they present this idea of what you should have. I'm looking for holiday movies to watch, and they're all about romance. Come on, seriously, how many people meet a new person at Christmas time? You don't.
So years ago, when I was online dating,
stuff like that, you always give me some sort of story. Okay, go ahead.
Years ago, when I was online dating, one of the best times to online date was around the holidays, because that was when people were looking for partners and when they were putting the energy into it and they were really feeling and noticing the fact that they were single. So, it could be a good time to meet somebody. As to whether or not it's a healthy relationship, because, two people just wanting to be with somebody isn't necessarily a great start to a relationship. There could be the potential.
Honestly, I think that is what keeps people together.
Right.
The fear of not being with somebody else or not being with somebody. And I have my views on that. I think that we as a society are a little obsessed about the monogamy and the completion person. But I see
being partnered
a little bit. Yeah, it's a partner. Being partnered and that partner being the end all be all, and that partner is going to make it so your poops come out easier and all these things happen.
Okay, can we just take a moment and just think about how could they do that?
Because they could make the energy flow easier for you, and then you more easily release things, because when people are constipated, it's usually because there's something being withheld within them.
So I guess kind of what we're talking about with that then is orgasms. that helps to loosen things up. Okay, I will let that one go. That
it's actually not what I was talking about, but you go, girl. If you want to get into orgasms, I'm in. I am all about talking about orgasms.
Because we really need to do a show about that, Bobbi, because it keeps coming up.
We really do have to do an entire show on orgasms and how they are spiritual releases. Okie dokie. I'm going to say hi to people now.
Yes, please.
Okie dokie. We've said hello to Dion. We've said hello to Amanda. Hello, Marilyn.
Hello. It's wonderful to see you.
Yes. Hello, Nancy from Newfoundland.
Awesome.
We almost wish we could hear you, so I could hear your Newfoundland.
Oh, I know. Nancy has a lovely speaking voice.
Oh, does she sound like Crabtree? George Crabtree's from Newfoundland on Murdoch Mysteries?
No. And I haven't asked, but I think that she's got a pretty West Coast flavor because she's been here for a while. But I'm sure that if we asked really nicely, she might come up with a good.
Yeah, because my Winnipeg relatives could come up with some excellent colloquialisms that can only be heard in Manitoba. Like you're gone out of here, things like that.
Is that the bunny ears? Is that what it is? Bunny hugs.
Bunny hugs. Yes.
Bunny hugs.
Yes. We call them hoodies here.
Yes.
Yes. I thought a hoodie was like a nice way of a hoodlum. I did not know what a hoodie was. We were talking about hoodies. And I'm like, what is a hoodie? I don't know.
Here it is. It's a bunny hug.
It's a bunny hug. Yeah. It's a shirt. Yeah. No. Or jacket, we call them. Anyway, hello, Leanne. Yeah. She has a stack of books as well, and she hasn't read any of them yet. Do not feel bad.
Good. You and I together, Leanne, will read our books this year.
Thank you. Hello, Diana.
Hi, Diana.
Okay, now, do you want to read what Jerry has written?
Let's just quickly go through and say hello to everybody, and we'll come back to. So, hello to Pat and Arlene. Hello. And Nancy says, when I have a drink, my newfie comes out.
Okay. Is that your husband? You have a drink and your husband comes out? My newfie comes out.
Oh, jeez.
And
Leslie says that she's also from Winnipeg as well. She's enjoying Kamloops.
That is bizarre. I was born in Fort Garry, and then I lived in Kamloops.
And then you made it to the island.
Yes, Leslie will know what I mean by Fort Garry. It's a part of Winnipeg. Yes. Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful. And I used to live in Kamloops. Where do you live in Kamloops there, Leslie? I used to live in Aberdeen. Anywho, okie dokie.
Okay, so Jerry has said Christmas for me is December 24th. Cozy and read on Christmas Day. We always just celebrate Christmas Eve since 1963 as I married an Icelander. Oh, and all the baking is also Icelandic. Ooh, that sounds really cool.
That is cool.
And you do something similar. You were telling me that you do Christmas, or you do like dinner on the 24th.
Yeah, because I had 3 small children. And you get dinner, all that stuff over with on Christmas Eve, because everyone wants to come over to your house on Christmas Day. And I really worry far too much about what other people think of me. So I like to have a clean, concise house when people would come over on Christmas Eve. Christmas Day is an absolute free-for-all shambles day where it's cinnamon buns and candy. Well, I get the cinnamon buns. I get the candy. Yeah. So we do Christmas Eve dinner.
Yeah. I know of people who prefer eating leftovers and taking out the stress of the day. So they'll do 2 dinners. They'll have like the cooked dinner and then they'll have the leftover dinner. And so they just make a lot. Leftovers last through the week. So yeah.
2 if you're lucky. 2 if you have a tofurkey, because nobody is eating up at you. I already tell you. My dogs got into the garbage and they ate everything. They decimated the entire garbage. The tofurkey was completely intact. You could even see that they had all tried it. 4 dogs at the time. They'd all sniffed it. They'd all looked at it. They all went, I ate this apple. When the dogs won't eat your food, maybe you should look at your food. Arlene.
We said hello to Arlene. I don't know if she's had another comment that has come in.
Yes, Gimli. Diane was born in Gimli. Sorry, I have family in Gimli.
Cool.
It's actually named after the dwarf. It's where they make Crown. Not okay. I'm in Courtney Crown Isle vodka.
Oh, Crown Royal. I thought you were going to say Crown Vic, which is a car. I'm like, that's weird that they'd make that in Winnipeg.
Manitoba. No, they make Crown Royal. It's not weird that they make alcohol in Manitoba.
Jerry, I agree. Jerry said that you have very smart dogs.
Jerry. Oh, Jerry got a family in Gimli too. I wonder if we're related somehow. Mine are married in, so you and I could still get together, Jerry. Not to worry. I don't think Jerry has her eye on me.
And Nancy saying that she and her husband do a charcuterie board and watch It's a Wonderful Life on December 24th. That's a wonderful tradition to have.
Yes. Oh, what movies do you watch? What is you have to watch this movie or it wasn't Christmas?
I don't know that I really have one. My dad, Scrooge, for my dad is a big one. He watches that one.
Christmas Carol?
Yeah, Christmas Carol and the original. That's the one that he watches.
Is the absolute. He's actually not even the original.
Oh.
Yeah, I know too much about things that you don't need to know about. But it was actually 4 years later, the Alistair Sim ones. The original one was, I forget who, but it wasn't. Alistair Sims is Ebenezer Scrooge. He does such an amazing job of that role. Yeah.
Well, I will just have
to see the videos on that. Actually,
I will just have to pull that little tidbit of knowledge out.
Yes, pull that tidbit of knowledge. And yes, my Scrooge videos are coming. My Christmas Carol videos.
Yeah.
On different ghosts. The Christmas past, different present, just Christmas future. Because
beautiful.
I believe in Santa Claus.
Yeah.
So usually that's a conversation ender. Nicole does appies on Christmas Day. That's an excellent idea. We do something like that too. Okie dokie.
Yeah.
I've lost track of who we said hello to, but I don't think we've said hello to Rachel. Have we said hello to Rachel?
I don't think we have. Welcome, Rachel. It's great to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Bad news, and I'm really, really sorry, Rachel. Sometimes bad news is actually just good news disguised as a change.
Yeah.
I can't believe I just said that. I'm really sorry, Rachel. That's really smacked me, but it came out of my face. So I'm really sorry. But yeah. Toscana, TransCanada, Transcona. Is that right?
I'm not sure where you are.
Oh, Leslie is right under Rachel asking if she had bad news. She lives in the bush northwest of Kamloops. Transcona.
Yeah, I think Leslie's up pretty high too.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of where because it doesn't.
Smack.
What's that?
Oh, Pat just gave you a smack.
Yeah, Pat smacked me. What did I do, Pat?
Yeah.
Because of what I did. No, that don't sound. All of a sudden, no, no, no.
Oh yeah, no family loss. I was wondering. I'm really sorry,
I'm
Rachel.
really
That's
sorry.
and we talked a little bit about that, about the impact that can have around holidays.
Oh,
The first year being challenging, the change in not having everybody present, and I think out of that can evolve new traditions and new
that's what I was going to
connections.
say too. But it's so
Yeah.
easy because it actually throws me back to, for so many years, I commemorated July 6th. I used to do a
Mm-hmm.
pilgrimage. All of the last week of June, the first week of July would be completely marred, but I was the only one who knew July 6th was the day my dad died.
Mm-hmm.
I was the only one. So, but
Yeah.
to have everyone else keep on redoing it yeah, it would suck. So you have to actually, I would think
Yeah.
that you almost have to change it in your brain. So
Yeah. Well,
celebration of the person.
yeah. And I think that there can be a bit of a trauma response that comes up with that as well, that it's stored in the body.
Yeah.
I know a friend of mine, her dad passed about a week before Christmas, and ever since, their family hasn't celebrated Christmas in the same way, because everything leading up to it, there had been terminal illness that had led up to it, and so there was just so much, but that stays, and it's a reminder the closer that it gets.
Yeah, it's so
Mhm.
as a person who, because just before Christmas was when our first loss was felt, the
Yeah.
losses of my family last year, and I've been concerned about the other person. The
Hmm.
other person in my family who was much, much more deeply feeling that, like, 3,000 times more than I could even possibly even think of feeling it.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
worry about her, and I want to so badly try to help her look at it in a completely different way. But she'd have every right to beat me into the ground if I did it, because that would be me
Yeah.
not honoring her actual feelings. But wouldn't
Yep.
it be lovely if every time we actually just commemorated, oh my God, that person was here. We got the pleasure of meeting them, and now they're watching us and says, things like, and
Hmm.
we're the ones moving on here. So let's celebrate the people who are still here. And if only we
Yeah.
sit there, but we're not, just not. And that's not anything against anyone. It is just
No,
meaningful how we
but I
see.
think, oops, I was going to say, I think that's part of how our culture deals with grief and with dying and with passing, is that we don't really look at it in that way. But that
No,
if we started to shift that and focused on celebration, um and and for me, like, this is kind of stepping back and into a slightly different realm of things. I'd say one of the big focuses for me that I needed to pay attention to in 2022 was celebration in general. That it's important to slow down, to celebrate the different things that I've done, the different things that have happened, rather than constantly focusing on what's next. And I wonder, if we start to do that on a more regular basis rather than looking forward, if we're then also going to be able to start celebrating the people while they're here and once they're gone too.
mhm. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's strange too, because we get upset that people have crossed over, and or that things have ended, but at the same time, would you want everything to never end?
Hmm.
Always to go on the same way it always has. That's the thing I
Hmm.
like about celebration. I agree with you completely, which is
Hmm.
one of the reasons why I embrace Samhain so much this year.
Hmm.
And I
Hmm.
want to completely embrace the embolic. You guys best be ready for my embolic. Oh, you know what is interesting? What is ironic, actually? I
Hmm.
just looked, and Rachel is our friend who has lost somebody and
Hmm.
loves the movie Jack Frost, which
Hmm.
I'm not, I almost said effing watch. It actually infuriates me,
Yep.
only because my dad died.
Mm.
And when I see, I actually even think about that movie and I get angry.
Yeah,
And
I can feel the anger.
it bubble, because I think that makes me, it's like the end of the first Jumanji.
Hmm.
Have you ever seen the end of the first Jumanji?
I don't
They
know
go
that
through
I
the whole movie
have.
dealing with the fact that their parents died, and they bring them back
Right.
to life at the end. And I was
Oh,
infuriated by that.
yeah.
No. Because as
Yeah.
a person who lost parents, I was watching this and I was living it with these people, and then they got their parents back, and I was mad. Yeah, and so and it's not. I just have not been able to watch Jack Frost. So
Yeah.
it's ironic, actually, that is.
Mhm.
But you see certain things, and yeah. So I guess I'm not as adjusted as I think I am.
I think it's another layer of the onion,
Yes, there are
of
many layers
healing.
of onion. Yes, and actually, I
Yeah.
think of it more as a rose because it's layer after layer after layer, and I just keep pulling them up.
Yeah.
Protect more of the inside of the layer of the
Mhm.
rose. Don't ask me to
Yeah.
pull down my petals too early. Anyway, Sound of Music. It's so funny. Sound of Music and Wizard of Oz synonymous with Christmas.
Oh.
Do you not think of Wizard of Oz at Christmas time?
Well, I mean, A Sound of Music makes sense to me because I mean they did celebrate
Yes.
Christmas throughout the movie. But I wouldn't have connected the Wizard of Oz with Christmas.
When I
I guess
was
the magic.
Yeah, well, it's that when I was a little kid, they would
Mhm.
only play Wizard of Oz on the CBC once a year, and it was usually in December at around Christmas time.
Right.
And if I got to see the Wizard of Oz, my life was complete. Once my dad actually took me away from seeing the Wizard of Oz to go look at the lights at Stanley Park. Yes. Trust me, he told me what a spoiled brat I was acting like in no uncertain terms. Because that movie meant so much to me.
Yeah.
And I saw it at Christmas. So yeah, I can see. But you're younger. See, you're 10 years younger than me. Back when you were a little kid, all you people had to do was pop in your video of the Wizard
Yep.
of Oz.
Well,
Will come on TV.
we didn't have a lot of videos, but we would go to the video store. It was Jumbo Elephant Videos, and we would rent videos. But we had VHS and not the beta, and beta was what had all of the really awesome kids movies. VHS was more older movies. So yeah,
That's why VHS won out in the end.
probably. Yeah, probably it is.
There's a whole thing about why it won out in the end. It's a lot of corporate corruption and stuff.
Well,
yeah, Betamax was completely maligned. Anyway, that's a whole other documentary. But yes.
Nicole is saying Wizard of Oz is Halloween for her, and I can see that too. That one makes sense for me. But again, it wasn't part of my experience as a kid. So
Transcona is not by Kamloops in Winnipeg.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Leslie. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. It was
and I see
Rachel. Wow.
Pardon?
You're just keeping positive today. Rachel wrote, but keeping positive, and then she wrote today. So I'm not sure if her loss was today. So
it feels like it's pretty recent.
It does. And it actually kind of feels like we should all just kind of send Rachel a big oracle hug.
Yeah. And I'm going to include Nancy in that one too. And I think I saw something from Debbie as well. So let's and I know that Corinne also had mentioned passing of her son too. So you know what? Let's just take a moment to send big hugs and loves to everybody who is missing a loved one right now. That includes you too, Miss Bobbi.
Oh, okay.
I see this as being one of the times when we can really take care of ourselves, where, you know, we are wanting to give to support others, but also have the opportunity to receive for ourselves as well.
And sometimes we think that giving and supporting others is helping ourselves.
Mm-hmm. And it can,
but it's kind of like going, this smells so good, you should eat this.
And then flip, it's poisonous. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah.
Okie dokie. Debbie, actually, you know what? If you were to take anything as a message, I think whatever it is that you're doing, you are doing the right thing. And I don't know if you're doing something to commemorate her or something, but you are doing the right thing. It could be too that you got a lot of advice from your mommy. And because I know that there's somebody who I would love to be able to go to for advice. but it can't. Well, I can. It's just that it'll be filtered. Just not the same when it's filtered through my brain.
It'll be a little different.
Yes.
And I just wanted to say, Nancy said that her mom passed and have so much peace now knowing that she's not suffering and with her dad. She loved Christmas, and I plan on celebrating in her honor. I think that's really amazing, being able to, be happy that your loved one's on the other side. For Nancy, I believe that it was, her mom was at a point in her life where it made sense. It was age and other things, but it was not this.
It wasn't disguise.
Pardon?
Was it a blessing in disguise?
Yeah. Like sometimes when people pass, there's a lot of tragedy to it because they were young, or it was unexpected, or it was violent, or whatever. But when a person has reached a time in their lives and they're unwell, and it's a blessing for them to pass, is I think what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. And I don't know if you know Nancy well, if you know that if her mother had a little Christmas tree, or little Christmas tree, and her mother had certain ornaments that were her favorite ornaments, and Nancy has her own ornaments, because it could very well be that Nancy's mom would like her to make a little tree next to her tree and call that her mother's tree.
Oh, beautiful.
Mother's ornaments. It could very well be that is something that Nancy's mother would like.
Beautiful. I love that.
Trying hard not to read, but I'm also hearing things, so I have to. And you bring up your mommies, and your mommies are like,
and they just come right in.
That's all.
Come right in.
You hear that? Because mummies will, nobody's gonna get through faster than a mummy. They will block the doorway for others as well. They will. They're like, no,
that's really interesting. I've had dads do that, but I think that it probably also depends on the relationship that they had with their parent.
Yes, I find across the board, you don't mess with the mom.
Yeah,
they go. I actually will see them do this too in the doorway. Like, no.
Really?
Yeah.
I love that.
So, no. Oh, there's a mommy. Yeah. Okie dokie. Yes, Diane likes Rudolph, and I forget who said it. The Grinch, the original one.
Yes, I saw that post too.
The one where he does this a lot. Sorry, that's what it reminds me of, the creepy.
So the original one would be the cartoon as opposed to the Jim Carrey one.
Yes. Got it. The Jim Carrey one. That's a controversy all on its own. Yeah.
Yeah, and Pat's saying that her mom would push everyone aside as well.
Yeah, I believe that. And if you've had a reading with me and your mom has come through, then you know that is Charlie Brown Christmas. Yes,
that's a good one.
That one. All I ever remember actually is when we would get to the Linus part, and Linus would start describing the nativity, and my dad would make his atheist comments behind me from the couch, and I remember that so well. I remember the most about it, how controversial Charlie Brown Christmas was in my household. Because it had a Christian leaning at the end. It's so funny, eh?
Oh dear.
See, Nicole knows. She knows. And I swear I could actually probably recite that entire show. I'd be shocked if
That's impressive. That's
impressive. That's another one. That's another thing that we used to have to do back in the olden days.
Yeah.
ABC showed them on certain nights. The Snowman, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and Charlie Brown Christmas, but once in the entire. Now, my God, I could watch them all year round. I have them on DVD, or I could download them, or I could watch them on YouTube. YouTube is an excellent source for old Christmas stuff that you didn't realize existed. I actually watched it. I shouldn't admit this in public, but I'm going to do it. I watched a Christmas episode of Joni Loves Chachi. I know why the show did not make it. I don't think I even got through. I couldn't get through it. I was getting hungry. I was like, I can't do this to myself anymore. This is terrible.
Now, Chachi was Scott Baio, right?
Yes. Oh my God, you're young. Yes, Scott Baio and Erin Moran, who both have come to sad ends. Scott Baio for certain reasons, and Erin Moran because she actually crossed over. in a very bad way. But yeah, Scott Baio and Erin Moran. It was a spinoff of the Happy Days.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Because I knew him from Charles in Charge.
Ah, yes.
Anyway, yeah. So the best Christmas pageant ever with Loretta Swit.
Yes. Yes. It's Swift.
Okay.
Hot Lips Houlihan on MASH, the television shows. I am. Yeah, the blonde, white-haired lady. Yes.
I loved watching MASH when I was little. I totally didn't get most of what was going on because I was quite young, but I used to love watching MASH.
Because I was young when MASH was on. Well, MASH, I believe it premiered the year I was born.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. It was at some point in the 70s. So
1971.
Yeah.
All righty.
Yeah. And Diana says that she's 71 now and still has all of the ones that we've mentioned. So hotlines. I think maybe Diana means hot lips, but yes.
Yes, I just kept on saying hotlines. Yes, Hot Lips Houlihan. You betcha. Okie dokie. All right, now I'm hearing in my head that they want us to talk a little bit about self-care.
Yes, let's get back to self-care.
Self-care, yes. And what alternatives to self-care, because not everybody wants to have a salt bath, and some people just don't have time. If you have 3 small children, you know that I'm speaking from a place of knowing that, or if you work a ridiculous amount of hours, what are the little things that you can do to give yourself little perks and spurts and things like that? I actually, I used to hide candy.
Did you?
Yes.
Yep.
It was a self-care thing that I would do. Yep. Actually, what they're saying in my head, because every now and again, and my kids didn't remember this, and I think I've said this before. Hello, JC. I would have, Mommy needs time. Mommy just needs time. Is it enough time now, Mommy? Is it all right now, Mommy? Mommy just needs time. That's what they would do. But those are the little, just that little moment was the self-care that I did. And God, I wish I'd never mentioned it to my kids because they did not remember it. It was something that bothered me that I did this. So don't worry about the little things if they're under 9. They won't remember. Don't worry about your psychosis, how crazy you are. Okay, what do you do that isn't a salt bath?
So I like showers. I have a shower. I don't have a tub. So doing salt baths is a bit of a production for me because I have to go to my parents' place and I use their tub. So I will do showers. Showers are a really big thing for me, standing under the water and just like letting things go. I talk with my angels when things are bothering me, when they're feeling heavy, I'll talk with them. Other things that I'll do that are more active, like, I'll nap or I'll put something on Netflix or I'll meditate or I'll pull some cards. But for more active things, I have this great big huge pad of paper, like the easel paper.
Oh, like the teachers.
Yeah, exactly. Like teachers have, and I have it hanging on hooks in my bedroom, and I've got markers in my bedroom, and I write stuff out. What is it that I need to get out, or what is it that I'm wanting to create and manifest? But for me, it makes a really big difference having it up on the wall.
Big.
I don't want to be limited by a piece of paper, and I don't want to be limited by electronics or by my screen. I want to go big. And several weeks ago, as I was preparing my ritual soak and getting things ready, I was in a hotel so that I could do different things like videos and recordings and stuff. And I stopped at the dollar store on the way and I got some of that craft paper, the rolls of craft paper. Okay. It was 10 feet long, and I got myself some painter's tape and I put it up on the wall of the hotel room, and I did all of my brainstorming there, and I did my writing, and everything went on it. And that for me is incredibly cathartic, to get stuff out and to have it in a big place where I'm able to see everything all at once.
Can you imagine? If you were like in an accident or something and the police had to go there, and they'd be like,
right?
He was gonna murder everyone.
it's all the plan. It's here. It's all right there waiting for us. We know exactly what she was thinking.
I'm receiving. Get louder. Like, oh my God. Oh my Lord, you should just keep those things up.
Yeah. You know what, when I do manifestation work, because sometimes I'll write things out, and I have put a lot into it, so I keep it up on my wall, and I don't have a lot of wall space in my house, so I'll have these great big huge sheets of paper with all of the things that I've written out, and that will be my affirmations. But so creativity, being creative,
Brilliant one.
it's
You
a
are
wonderful
so right. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm doing that right now. I'm baking.
Ooh.
I know. I have never been a baker because baking actually requires measurements and precise stuff.
Right.
That is not usually my forte, the measurement precise stuff. I'm usually like, you want me to put in that much? Oh, I'm putting in more.
Well, I think there are some things that you measure with your heart. Garlic and vanilla would definitely be two of them. And cinnamon.
Garlic in my baking.
Yeah, well, no, don't put
kind of baking
unless it's savory baking.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's what I am learning. I'm experimenting a little bit because I'm just not a rule follower. I just have a heck of a time when you tell me I have to do it this way.
Yeah,
all I want to do is do it the other way because you said
I love concocting. That's what I call it. So whether it's like food in the kitchen,
I learned one thing in there. I'm sorry. I'm heterosexual as well. Sorry. Not classy, just heterosexual.
Oh, dear Lord.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Josie says rules suck, and Diana likes to play with food as well. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, when the way that you've put it there, like I've got like food all over your face. Like I see like a kid, learning how to eat, and they've got like spaghetti and sauce all over their face.
That would be my Cassidy.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
One for my mouth, one for my head.
Yeah, exactly. That was me this weekend. I have a hard time. I can't have soy. And so chocolate is like one of my guilty pleasures, but it's really difficult to find soy-free chocolate. Because soy lecithin is used as an emulsifier in so many things. And so it's only just starting that we're starting to get more companies that are using sunflower lecithin, or you can get the really expensive chocolate where they use the cocoa mass. But
does Hornby Island still Denman Island chocolate?
I think they have soy in theirs. Mm-hmm. You would be so surprised at the stuff that has soy in it. It's just it's ridiculous. It's crazy. But so anyway, I was making chocolate bars this weekend, and kind of like the first one that I did, I had one of those great big huge baking sheets and just some parchment paper, and so I made kind of like a bark. It was really thin, but it meant that we ended up with like really big pieces. And so the first one that I tried, I literally had chocolate all over my face. Like on my nose, on my cheeks, on my chin. Like it was like, how did you do that? The only way that it could have been worse was if I'd gotten it on my forehead, and that, really would have taken talent. So
I could do that.
Yeah.
I could definitely do that. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Now Josie said thank you for the card.
Oh, probably for the season's blessings cards that I sent out.
Erin is so much better than me.
No, just a little bit organized.
Or more organized than me. My intention is there. I have my cards out. Mm-hmm. And I actually have sent I've sent one Christmas card, and it's because someone sent me money for a gift certificate.
That's a good reason to send a Christmas card. Yes, and Josie, I should say you're welcome.
Yes.
It was a pleasure.
Yes. Isn't it lovely that she sends that? It's so lovely. It's so lovely to get the reminder from you that lovely people exist in the world. Yeah. And for some people, you might be the only Christmas card they get.
It's entirely possible. I love sending them out. Like when I do my readings, I write. And if I'm doing a reading for somebody and we're not sitting across from each other, then I put that in the mail for people, and I put a little card in, because we seldom receive anything but bills in the mail, and it's nice to have something that's tangible. So
Once
mail outs
look bad.
it's not meant to make you look bad.
Okay.
It's just a little bit of love that I pop in the mail. And you put love in other ways.
I do. I don't put
do.
in the mail. I
Yes.
put love in the I don't
Love
do
in the words.
love in the words. Yes.
Love in the words.
I don't know if I could write down what I'm hearing all the time, because when I write, like when I'm and I know I'm doing that with them, it hurts my hands. Does it hurt you when you're writing it, or you don't have that? No, because your contract.
Your damn rules, Erin.
You're ready again. No pressure. Thank you, Josie. But I feel like there's pressure. Okay, I have to do that. But you're right. Yeah, you don't get the pains like I do.
No, I don't get them. I don't get them in that way. But I think that this conversation brings up a really awesome point.
Okay.
And I think I see it as being part of the self-care is letting go of expectations. Of the expectations we have of ourselves.
Christmas is all expectation.
Because what's just happened here is, because I do something, you're like, well, I feel badly that I'm not doing it at the level that you're doing it. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to beat myself up and I'm going to feel bad. But that's just because of your expectation.
Okie dokie.
So I think
my expectation, or is that the expectation I feel I have to live up to others?
Well, I think that that's your own expectation. Like, it's your expectation that you need to live up to it.
That's true. No,
yeah,
that's true.
That's about you.
It is about me. Yes. Yeah. Oh, wow.
So I think an amazing form of self-care is to say, you know what, this expectation doesn't serve me, because it's creating stress, it's creating difficulty, it's taking me away, it's taking my energy away from doing the things that I love, that I enjoy, that I'm really good at. Like, why put your energy into something that just isn't working for you, and then to think about it and to stress about it on top of that, when you could be putting that energy into something that you love, that's going to benefit you, that's going to benefit people in a different way.
Absolutely. And honestly, all I get is that female, no offense to any, if there is any male watching or listening right now, but we females do that. There's this massive expectation that we are completely and absolutely here to see to the needs of others. And we are coming into that time where you have to be super mom. And honestly, it pops to my head that my neighbors have got their outdoor lights on. And I haven't gotten my outside lights done yet.
Yeah.
And I feel the slacker of the neighborhood.
Yep.
Because I'm not showing my Christmas spirit with all their Christmas spirits. How silly is that? And the expectation of, I'm trying to give my kids the Christmases I never had. What the?
I remember when we were still living on the mainland. I think I was maybe about 10 or 11 years old, and my parents decided they weren't going to put Christmas lights up on the house. They'd throw them up around the tree, because they had a tree by the front door, and they'd put it on around the tree, but they weren't going to put it on the roof, because at that point my dad was self-employed. My mom had gone back to work. We were all three of us
kids.
And really, we were kids. We were active. My brother played hockey. Like, it was just crazy. And they said, it just doesn't make sense for us anymore to put that up. And I think that's part of the releasing of the expectation. Like, we lived in an area where we were surrounded by really beautiful homes, and people did put lights up. It was a big thing, and we just didn't.
Yeah. And that shouldn't. Why should you feel bad about it? The thing that I love Christmas lights. I actually love it when people display their happiness on the outside. And I really, really like it when the majority of people are on the same page. Something I really liked about COVID, actually. I do find it can be a forced expectation, a forced
Mm-hmm.
sort of thing. That maybe if we just said, okay, however you want to express your love of light, do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then that will be your expression of love of light. But yeah, I think we kind of
Absolutely.
have to do this with Christmas now.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I just about said something. Something if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
If I'm wrong, but I don't know if you know this expression. F me if I'm wrong, but
Yeah. Okay.
now I'm so stuck there. I don't even know what I was going to say. But but could it also, yeah, all these expectations and things that we put upon ourselves and then we put upon the holiday and we put them on everything are going to constant flux and change as well. And
Mm-hmm.
I actually think they need to be. I
Mm-hmm.
think the focus, I don't want to go away from Christmas. I love this idea, but I can't help but call it solstice Yule. And every
Mm-hmm.
time I do, I get that look from people.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with you? Look. But I love the idea of celebrating for 2 weeks. I
Mm-hmm.
love the idea of starting on the 1st or the 21st of December and ending on the 7th of January, rather than it
Beautiful.
being just one actual day. Because the
Yep.
25th is not, it's an arbitrary
Mm-hmm.
scheduled day. We don't even know if that is if you're Christian and you're very attached to the idea of Jesus being born on the 25th,
Mm-hmm.
give yourself a little leeway on the 23rd, 27th. Someone between there could have been born then. So we did all the pressure on that Christmas Day thing. What am I going to do? Christmas Day, Christmas Day, Christmas Day. Your family isn't even going to be honoring Christmas Day as people feel that Christmas Day needs to be honored.
No, and we haven't for a long time. My sister moved to the States when I was, well, I mean, she started going down when she was about 16, so I was 18. And she's lived there since she was 20. So it's been a long time since my sister has been around. My brother doesn't live close by, and my immediate family are my parents. We see each other all the time. So
Yeah.
there's nothing particularly special about it. So for us, we really focus on when people are together. And my sister and my nephew and my brother were here during the summer, so that was part of our big focus because that was when we were together. And it just isn't possible for my sister and nephew to be here because of how far they live and the short amount of time that he has off for Christmas and other things. So we really focus on when we're together, that's when we celebrate.
And that is that. And that is the only thing that really actually matters. What we
Yeah.
actually should be focusing on here is the earth and our
Yeah.
own cycles and the fact that we're winding down so that we
Yeah.
can replenish for the next jump up. And that is
Absolutely.
actually what it's about. Rather than the
Absolutely.
focus on, okay, what is everyone else doing? What is expected of me? What should I be doing? Blah, blah, blah. My God. I honestly
Mhm.
believe it's the reason why we have so many suicides in November and February,
Yeah.
because people are afraid of not being able to meet the expectation, and it goes completely and absolutely against nature. And
Yeah.
then they actually worried that they didn't meet that expectation.
Yeah.
So then, and that even goes against nature.
Or they overextended themselves so much
Financially.
that and that overextension, that can be on a financial level, like a material level, that can be on an energetic level, on an emotional level. There's so many different ways that we can overextend that. And then coming into a time of year, we're still in a lot of darkness, January and February, before the
Yep.
light is really coming back around. So yeah, it's definitely a difficult time of year. So I think that this, in a lot of ways, the slower that we are going into it, the more that we focus on the things that are important. So if lights are important to you, awesome, do lights. If gift giving is really important, awesome, do it. But if people are really important, like, focus on the things that are important rather than trying to do all of it. And I think that might also be a bit of a woman thing too, because there's expectation that we do all of it. Now, we take care of family and take care of home, and we're out working and so
And
picking and choosing the parts of the season that are most important to you. And I noticed that Diana left a comment. She said that she's having having real problems with Christmas spirit this year. And I think when we're in a place where we're feeling challenged, or we're not feeling it, or we're seeing everybody around us celebrating and getting ready, and there's a lot of hype, and we're just not in it and feeling it, finding the bits and the pieces that feel good for you and giving yourself permission to be exactly where you are, rather than trying to be somewhere or something, or feeling and experiencing something else.
Yes, this week, that's all I kept hearing. Now, this
Hold
moment.
on a second, Miss Bobbi. I'm having a hard time hearing you. I don't know if it's my headset or
Well, your
if it's
audio actually.
you keep talking. I'm going to switch over to my other headset.
Okay. All right. Well, Erin is having her technical change. I will talk about that. The now, the moment, this moment. That's actually what I keep hearing too, which is kind of funny, actually. And no, it makes sense. It makes sense with the hibernation idea, that when you go into a hibernation or a sleepy kind of state, you actually kind of pull everything in and concentrate on what you have right at this second. And I honestly believe that's what people need to do. And even with Diana, because she goes on to say that she's trying to sell her house and move closer to her kids and grandkids. And I know, I just can see it in her head. If she has this, that Christmas will be way better. I would enjoy this quiet Christmas. This is the last time. Enjoy this adult orientated, very, and even do it in an adulty kind of way, like have an ugly Christmas party and sing Christmas carols around a grand piano. Have you ever done that? People do that on TV all the time.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Or all these pianos people are singing around. I don't have a friend that does this.
Yeah.
People do this.
I can really appreciate where you are, Diana, because I think of my younger sister. She is in Pennsylvania. She is literally on her own. She doesn't have family. She doesn't really have any friends, and she just basically has her son. And her son goes to his dad's place for a good chunk of Christmas. His whole family is there because he grew up there. Nieces or cousins and aunts and uncles and everything is there. And it's a really lonely and isolating time when you aren't able to be with family, when that's really what you want. Like, a big part of what we're talking about is, celebrating with the people that you want to be with. And it can be really difficult if that's what you want and you can't. But I agree, finding other ways to celebrate where you are, and focusing on, this is going to be the last adult Christmas, and next year is going to be different. So what can we do that we can't do with the kids around?
Yeah. Like, sorry, I had a suggestion that nobody wants to hear. Because you cannot have those with kids around. Anyway.
So, Miss Bobbi.
Oh, and ends with a G. It actually popped in my head. No kidding. I'm not kidding you. Anywho, so now I got to get that out of my head.
So all that I'm hearing is, be careful about where you put your keys if you go over to visit Bobbi, because it might end up in a punch bowl. That's all I'm hearing.
Oh, no one's leaving. Anywho, so actually, this is it. It's the idea that when things are crappy, we always think they're going to stay that way. When things are great, we're like, okay, cherish this moment because it's fleeting. And it's totally fleeting. And we always we ensure that the crap stays. So it's what you concentrate on. So don't worry. This Christmas is going to be absolutely nothing like next Christmas, because it's not next Christmas. Christmas. And and it's well, you even said that it would be better for, can I use your sister's name? If she actually had people that family to hang out with. They said in my head, people that she liked. Because Christmas is the time for family. But what is your family?
Well, I see friends as being the family that you choose.
Yes. Family are people that you would not have chosen to know in this lifetime. So therefore, God has made them related to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not would have sought that out person. Nope, not the way that sentence was to be said. Think my brain's melted. When I start mixing my sentences up into Bobbi's had a stroke, then
yeah, you've hit the wall at that
I hit
point.
the wall. You
Hit
betcha.
the wall.
Yes. And how are you? You did not sleep last night.
No, I didn't. But I did what I considered a self-care thing. So at 10 o'clock at night, I recognized that I was not going to be sleeping anytime soon. Something that I've been putting off for a long time is like doing some cleaning. So I cleaned for about 5 hours last night.
So funny. Because at 10 o'clock last night, I thought I'm never going to get to sleep. So I'm going to take some nighttime Advil. We both had the exact same revelation at the exact same time.
We just approached it different ways.
Very different. Yeah. You know what? It's because I had 3 kids on my own. Because I see sleep as precious.
Yeah.
It is like precious.
Yeah.
People would say, would you like 8 hours sleep or would you like $1 million? I have to think about that.
Well, if I've just woken up from 8 hours sleep, I'll take the $1 million, but
and then I'll sleep on.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, we've had different lives, and for me, again, like work has always been a really big thing for me, and that's a time when it's quiet, when I'm able to get things done. So, I set my day intentionally so that my day starts later. I'm not an 8 a.m. work person. I never have been, and I'm okay with never being that person. Starting at 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning works for me because I know that I'm going to be able to work into the evening and really utilize my energy when I have energy. So it's not unusual for me to be up, and I don't have people that I need to care for that need me to be functioning at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, the word demand was in my head, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I can see how that would be a word that would be appropriate.
I demand you make me something because all I can do is cry and poop my pants.
Yeah,
that's really right. We're very demanding little people. Yeah, that's excellent. Okay, so Diana has expounded even further upon the just people Christmas. You might actually, what flashed in my head, and I know I keep giving you solutions and you probably want to come to my house and punch me in the face, but I'm going to give you another one. You might want to invite stray people to not just stray people, but stray people to your Christmas. I did this when I first got divorced. I would invite all the other single people.
Yeah.
So that we could all sit around the Christmas table, because a lot of times they had kids too and stuff, and being the only adult at the Christmas table can be a little bit So having other single adults there too can be really, really, and Diana, there could actually be some people out there who haven't told you yet that they're going to be completely and absolutely alone. Because if I was going to be alone for Christmas, I wouldn't tell anyone.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't want a pity invite or something like that. So that might be something that could be a bit of a solution. And actually, I don't know. All I keep seeing is all these possibilities when I read Diana's stuff. All I see is all these different other things that. So
and I can also hear it's still just not the same.
Like it's not the same, Bobbi. Shut up, Bobbi. Yeah, I know. It's why I invited her to come punch me in the face.
No, I want to give a little love and empathy for where you are, because I know what it can be like when it's the same thing over and over and over, and it feels like you keep falling back further and further because you're trying, you're working, and it's not happening on the timeline with the expectation that you have. And I can appreciate where you are in this moment, and I know that it will get better. And that there will be something that will not be the same, but that can be really amazing still. And I think that's where you're focusing.
Yeah. And could it expectation should have been our theme for today.
It really should have. Yeah.
Because we have this idea that the expectation is at Christmas, you're going to fall in love, or at Christmas, you're going to be with your family, or at Christmas, you're going to get a puppy. Happened one day. I'm
texting your husband now.
We can't right now. Anyway, so that I and that's not to belittle anyone's pain, but I do find that a lot of times that people have a lot of pain due to what they think they're supposed to have in their lives, not based on their feelings, based on what other things tell them they're supposed to have. Does that make sense? It's kind of like, oh, I forget what it was that happened to me. I totally forget. But what I likened it to was Cinderella coming down the stairs and the dress that the mice made her. And how beautiful she thought she was, how great she thought she looked. She was just so, there was no, and then the sisters were like, yeah, you suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, they tore everything off in the cartoon. But we don't know that we suck until people tell us we suck. So maybe we shouldn't put any stock whatsoever into what other people are doing. Maybe actually the mouse dress was a beautiful dress, and rock the mouse dress. Who cares what the stepsisters say? It kind of goes with the same thing with the celebration of your Christmas. The way we celebrate it now is very new.
Yeah.
And even hiding it has to do with James II. And it was Christians that had to hide. James II of Scotland, James VI of Scotland, James II of England.
No, he was James VI. James VI of Scotland was James I of England.
You're right. Yeah. Yes, that's right. Yeah. And was it James I who banned Christmas celebrations in the streets, or was it James II?
You know, I'm not really sure. It went James I, then his son was Charles I, then his sons were Charles II and James II, and there was an overthrow. Cromwell was in there at some point too.
Charles I.
Yeah, so it was probably James II who banned it.
And our Charles now is the third Charles, isn't he?
Yes, he is the third.
You gotta be careful there, Charlie. We have not had a successful King Charles. Yeah, and okay, yes, and yeah. Usually tell my clients not to get stuck in the expectations, and that's where I find me too.
Yeah,
me too. I actually will even watch my videos and go, easy for you to say.
Well, and I think that's a really awesome point, because often we are given the lessons that we're supposed to help other people with, and it means that we need to learn them first.
Yeah,
that's a big one.
Perfect. Yeah, we're still feeling our way through the room as well.
Yeah,
we just have an extra little feeler on the outside of our hand, so we can actually kind of feel something before it hits us. Tiny bit, if we're going to pay attention. Yes. Thank you, Nancy.
It was great seeing you. Lots of love to you
too. How are you feeling, young lady?
I'm coming to my point. How are you doing?
I am coming to your points as well. We have a guest next week, don't we?
Pardon me?
We have a guest next week, don't we?
I was actually just going to say that. Yes, I'm super excited. Tanya QC is going to be joining us, and she's got lots of different things that she does. So I'm not exactly sure what to call like the company that she's from, but she is a starseed. She creates light code paintings. She works with crystals. She sells crystals. She's doing higher galactic readings. There is so much that she is doing, that she's bringing, but we've invited her to join us because we have been talking about starseeds a lot, not the last couple of weeks, but over the last several months. And she is a wonderful person. She works with her high vibe tribe. So
high vibe tribe. Oh, yeah. I like that. Yeah. Almost as cool as Orkellians.
Almost,
but
so yes, Tanya will be joining us at 3:30 p.m. Pacific, which is 6:30 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. That's December the 11th, and it will be here.
And she was the creator of your fun mirror that we did the mirror manifestation with, correct?
That was Danielle Bilodeau of Little Love Letter Arts. Tanya is somebody else, and I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because she has actually created a crystal grid for me that I'm going to take down off of my wall, and I'll bring it and I'll share it with everybody. But Tanya's a really fun person. She also has a podcast, and she interviewed me several months ago, and I've shared that on my Facebook page too, so you can get a bit of an idea of who she is.
That is very exciting. We like to have guests. If you would like to be a guest on our show, you can message us on our Orkellian page at Facebook.
Sure.
Sure.
I'm going to leave that one. I'm going to leave that one up to you. So
Oh,
you get in touch with Bobbi.
Oh no, you poor creatures. You have to try to get in touch with me. All right. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The second Sunday of the month, we're focusing on having a guest. That said, I know that the second Sunday in January, I'm going to be presenting at the More Than Existing Online Summit. So I will be here for our Oracle chats, but possibly I'm throwing this at Bobbi right now. The third week in January, we'll have a guest.
Okie dokie. Okie dokie. All right. Want to be our guest? Message me.
Yes, message Bobbi.
Showcase. I want to showcase small businesses. Etsy's like all of this is from an Etsy. I'm an Etsy whore. I'm all about it. Why go to Amazon when you can go to Etsy?
Absolutely.
It feels so much better when you make a purchase from somebody who's actually crafting it for you. Personalized so many things. Yeah. Everything I do, I get personalized. I love it. I absolutely love it. And I'm supporting a person like me. So
absolutely.
And honestly, I have a certain person in my head. I don't know if you can hear me, Sarah.
But we have such an amazing community of Oracelians that we would love to highlight you guys and have you join us and share whatever it is that you do.
Yes, what you do, whatever products you bring out. Yeah, because we all need each other, and we can all actually. There's so many people in your actual community that can give you so much. And thank you for noticing the 444 Leslie.
Yes, Leslie was on it. Awesome. Are we ready?
I think we are. Okay,
I think so. Thank you all so much for joining us. We will see you next week.
Next week we'll talk more. We'll talk about with Tanya.
Yes, we'll talk lots.
Namaste.
Namaste. I got there sooner.
Way sooner. I was way down there.
Good night, everyone.